Today we're discussing advanced placements. It's an advanced placement masterclass. We'll take you through all of the various decision making, the information that you need about the AP, understanding what they are, understanding the structure of them, the various AP courses that are available, and also to understand why are APs important in today's day and age. How do they help in the overall application? What do they even mean for students who are studying on international board? From then, we'll also look into the digital AP as it's moving forward, and you want to see what is typically changing in it. Apart from that, we'll be also looking at our approach. We'll also share various resources with you, and that's the overall flow of the session. I'll just quickly show you the roadmap for the session today as well. Again, it is just about the APs. We'll understand its structure, the courses, why they're important, choosing them as well, and then moving on to the digital AP along with our approach and resources. Before we get into the presentation, I'll quickly run you through the organization as well. Let's Unbound, which began with a focus on skill building and empowering elementary and middle school students with STEM, life skills, and mentorship. Now, as these students progressed to high school, they started seeking college admissions guidance, and that's where we listened. We evolved our services to seamlessly integrate through the application storytelling into our already well established mentoring programs. Now, by combining personalized learning and mentoring, skill development, and the strategic admission support, we guide students right from their early academic years to the top university admissions. We have impacted more than 4,000 students in 25 countries and have delivered more than 125,000 hours of expert mentoring. We have partnered with organizations as Harvard Students Agencies and Arizona State University Prep Digital, which has really ensured our students get world-class educational experience. I'll now give a quick introduction of the other co-founders. Amol, on the left, he's a serial entrepreneur. He's an educational visionary with experiences at Tata and Exceed, India's largest edtech platform. Amol has helped scale impactful education solutions right across 2,000 schools in 6 countries, impacting more than 250,000 students. On your right, you've got Nishant. He's a mentor, he's an educator. He's the brains behind many of the learning pathways that we share. With 14 plus years of experience across academy, across industry, he has mentored more than 1,000 students and has designed curriculum solutions right from K-12 to executive MBA programs. My own quick introduction, the speaker for today's event. I've got 12 years of experience within investments and edtech. I started my journey with Jaguar Land Rover, worked with Citibank, Standard Charter. Within the education space, I've worked with Crimson Education and Added Education, and I've helped loads of kids go across to top universities within USA, within UK and Singapore. Right. Now, with the introductions done, I just want to understand a little bit of the people of this audience that have just joined us across. I'll I'll just put up a couple of these polls. If you could just let me know the current grade of the students that have just joined us across, you could just quickly vote. Right. I just We've got a lot of good students, join us from class 8th, class 9th, and 10th. Perfect. Now I'll just end this poll. We'll go for another one to understand which majors are the students interested for. So you could just quickly let me know that part. Right. So I think majority of the kids again are from the STEMs. Right. A good amount also within economics and finance, engineering. These are the top fields. Okay, I'm just stopping this one poll, last poll, to understand which country majority of the students are interested in. Right. So we've got kids interested for Singapore, US. Right. So the larger interest is Singapore, USA, Germany. Not much today interested in UK, it looks like. Fine. Now, even though makes quite sense, a lot of a huge topic within the advanced placements, very much applicable to US, but again, also useful if you're looking for UK applications, if you're looking for Australia, Singapore. They do show the right kind of academic excellence that, all of the top admission officers are going to be looking across for. Right. With the polls done, just now move into the topic itself, looking at APs, discussing what APs are. So today we will explore the whole world of advanced placement courses, a program that's developed by College Board and gives high school students that incredible opportunity to take US undergraduation level courses right here in school and before their undergraduation even starts across. They're scored out of 5, but that is a band score. Now, what does that band score means? How are these same courses very, very much relevant for IB students, for A-level kids, and how you supposed to become more curriculum atheist while making this decision? The College Board, firstly, a quick understanding, is a non-profit organization which was founded in the 1900, which administers SAT as well. Overall, the mission of the organization again is just to expand access to higher education by expanding standardized assessment and giving as such similar resources to students. So exactly as SAT also does a kind of standardization of your grades, the same concept can also exist in terms when you're looking at APs. But it is not the only function, and that's the reason that I've started by today saying that it is relevant for students who are also on IB and A level boards. They still do have other benefits that we'll be looking across at. Now, let's go into the specific topic of what exactly advanced placements are. What are the main three pillars that your AP course, college level courses provide? Now, the one of the first thing that they really stand out for, it's to give the student a really good academic challenge and prepares them for higher education. So, AP courses provide you with the opportunity to tackle challenging material that mirrors the rigor of a college level coursework. Now, this isn't just about mastering the subject. It's about preparing you for the intellectual demands and the critical thinking that's required within USA higher education and undergrads. Now, by engaging with complex topics early, you're building a strong foundation for your future academic success. The opportunity that's like, I mean, that first part in terms of your academic challenge. The second pillar now being the opportunity to earn college credits or advanced placements. Now, another major advantage of AP courses is the chance to earn early college credits. Now, excelling on AP exams can translate into credits that might reduce your college course load as well. It can save you money, depends the way you would want to utilize the aspect of having earned the credits earlier. This benefit not only accelerates your academic journey, but it also eases your transition into college life smoothly. A lot of these courses, the APs that you complete here in India, or complete if you're let's say living in USA and applying for colleges in US, even before you've applied to the colleges, the transition becomes quite easy. A lot of these APs, when you complete them, the College Board website itself would list down the amount of introductory courses that you would be allowed to skip by just completing an AP. So, for example, if you have done Calculus BC, Stanford University will give you 10 credits even before you start your undergrads. And there are a list of courses that they have stipulated, which are introductory courses that you can skip. So that transition into that college life becomes much more easier. You can immediately start moving into intermediary courses. You don't need to start with the introductory. The third pillar in on which your AP stand across is to provide you a competitive edge in college admissions. So finally, AP courses give you that competitive edge during the college admissions process. So colleges recognize that students who have taken AP courses are ready to handle rigorous college coursework. Your performances in these classes send a powerful messages to these admissions committee that you're motivated, you're capable, and you're prepared for challenges of higher education, and you're someone who wants to go and expand your knowledge level beyond from what is basic and mandatory. This really does set you apart from the other applicants in today's competitive landscape. Now, as we move through today's session, keep these 3 points in mind. AP courses aren't just about earning a grade, they're about embracing a challenge. They're opening doors to future academic opportunities. They're also a very, very good opportunity in positioning a strong profile for scholarships as well. So let's dive deeper into each of these areas and explore why are APs really important. So one of those first things that I was discussing across on was around earning college credits. So AP offers you the chance to earn those college credits before you've even set your foot on campus. This means you can, or you could, potentially skip, as I said, your introductory courses, or even graduate early. That is dependent on how do you want to use this benefit. Now, these points really do give you a significant head start in your college journey itself. Another benefit why, or another reason why they are important is that they provide you standardized benchmarking. So, for all of the students that have joined me across from India, the ones that are in domestic boards, the APs is an international based standardization for your grades. So, if you've got those high grades in your boards, it's really good that you complement them with fives out of fives or fours out of fives on your APs, or they let the admission officers know that the grades that you have managed to get on your board, they're standardized, and they're on that global level, and your knowledge can be, I'd say, standardized in that way. Now, the third thing that they also do provide, they help you build the profile for college admission. So when you enroll in AP courses, you're really demonstrating your willingness to take on those rigorous academic challenges. So this not only strengthens your academic profile, but also signals to the college admissions that you are looking out for much more challenging material than which is available at your colleges. Now, this is one question that is also there while you're making this preparation. What is the minimum amount of APs that one needs to really build that strong profile for your college admission? So technically, there is not one any specific number, but then there is the concept of AP Scholar that you could use as a guideline. So AP Scholar is a kid that has given three APs. When you do four APs and have an average of 3.25 plus, then that's called AP Scholar with honor. If you go for five APs and you get 3.5 plus average right across all five of them, you called an AP Scholar with distinction. Now, these three categories are that benchmark that you could set for yourself. Now, depending if you're already in 11th, if you're a 10th, and you'll have those one, two, or three windows. So you could really plan out, do you want to go for an AP Scholar category? Do you want to go for an AP Scholar with distinction? My suggestion is if you have minimum two windows, and if you do also have three windows, do target giving a minimum of five APs. So you can come across as an AP Scholar with distinction. I will also be explaining what do these 3.25s out of a 5 mean? What does a 3.5 out of a 5 mean? I've already told you it's a band score, it's not a percentage score. So a 5 out of 5 does not mean 100%. It largely means 90% and beyond. But what are those categorizations? We will be looking across once we go further within the presentation. Now, the second question, your scholarship opportunities. So there's no automatic scholarship that is tied to AP Scholar. Some colleges and scholarships let you send a AP score reports and would consider strong AP results holistically. But the AP Scholar badge, as I was just explaining, itself is not a trigger for a scholarship event, but they do enhance your profile and do put you in a strong position to get the scholarship, or also be considered in terms of admissions. The other part, what your APs do allow, and that's one thing that I'd said earlier, when you have taken those credits, the concept of graduating early. So with enough AP credits, you might be able to accelerate your academic path and graduate from the college ahead of schedule. This early graduation can really open up opportunities in your early professional years to enter a couple of more internships, do a couple of more research projects, do a couple of even practical projects that would solidify your initial entry to the corporate world as well. So that ability to enable to graduate early is also something very much beneficial that students do look for. That do five APs, and also beyond that, within their 12th year, after even their admission is done, continue giving APs just to make sure that they have got a lot of amount of credits completed before they're going across to US. Beyond the opportunities of doing, let's say, research paper, it also gives out a really good amount of time for doing internships. So a light course load in college, thanks to the college credits that you would have earned in high schools, means you've got extra time available as well. So even throughout those 4-year period, you do have a good time to go out and look for practical internships that really solidify your network within the industry as well, your network within the space that you want to work before you even get into your professional life. So if you see that multiple smooth transitions that just doing courses early allows you to get in. Now, those are the larger reasons that why students take up APs. we'll now move on to the next topic, that, which are those AP courses that are available. So there are 7 categories in which you can select your 38 APs. You can see the four on your screen, moving from arts, English, history, social sciences, and interdisciplinary. Right. The next 3 categories are as follows: science, world languages, culture, maths, and computer science. So these are the various APs that are available that you can select from. Just going back quickly to the previous slide as well, so you could just have another quick look at the first 4 categories and APs that are available. In total, there are 38, as I've just mentioned. Right. So those are the APs. Now we move across to the next topic. Since we have seen which of them do exist, the next important comes, which is choosing the appropriate AP subject course that could greatly influence your college application and academic performance. So these are the most important 5 points, 5 points that I would suggest you to be looking across at when you're making this decision. Which AP should you be largely selecting? So the first one, and which is a very, very important and largely overlooked factor, is to understand your AP college. It's to understand your AP score distributions. So this is the website that you can see within College Board. I'll just quickly share that screen for you. So when you go across here for the last year, you can see the results on average. What are the results for any of the APs? So in terms AP research, 14.8% students did get in a result of 5 out of 5. Then you've got results, let's say, within AP English, within history and social sciences. So these various results that you should be looking across at, because they will give you an understanding what are the chances of you to get a high score. And do remember, one of the main aspects of taking an AP is to show academic excellence. So the only way that academic excellence is going to be really being communicated, that if you're getting a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5. So for you to look which are the most probable APs in that way is going to be extremely important. I'll also just take this link and I'll drop it on to the chat section of this presentation, right? And you guys can just keep it safe for yourself. And whenever you would want to see the AP score distributions, you can just have a quick look. Right. Now, moving on to the next, sorry. Yeah, so now just moving on to the next point in terms of selecting or considering your career goals. Everyone should be raised, those students who have got a overall understanding of what kind of degree that they'll going to be probably doing. It's very good that you're selecting your APs that are much more in line with them. So there are 2 examples on your screen: the engineer, the financial analyst, which are the different kind of APs that really make sense for students. So, for an engineer, taking your AP pre-calculus in early years, moving on to both of your AP calculuses, AB and BC, your AP environmental sciences, AP physics C, mechanics, all of these are going to be extremely good for the profile of a student who's applying on an engineering major. If you're looking for financial analyst kind of a profile, so that you can see that AP macroeconomics is much more relevant. Doing AP statistics becomes extremely relevant. AP US government and politics becomes important. And at the same time, doing AP calculus or pre-calculus is also a good aspect, because because financial as analyst is also a really maths-based profession. Now, moving on to a couple of more career options, for a lawyer, for an artist, what are the different kind of APs that you could be looking across at? I'll just drop this other link for you to look at various different major option at different various AP options, dependent on the major that you're interested. But overall, all different kind of physics, all different kind of subjects within chemistry would be important if you're going previously, as I was showing you for the profile of engineer. And if you're going for humanity-based majors, doing any kind of APs on humanity is also a very good selection. Now, with point number 1 and 2 covered, of selecting APs after seeing the score distribution, considering your career goals as well. The third important reason that you should be doing this are the various college credit policies. So when choosing a college, you need to check for its policies accepting that credit, AP credit. So you should check the AP's official website where you'll find the number of colleges accepting the AP course. You want to select and want the minimum score required earned for it so you could take that benefit of earning those college credits. So just quickly, I'll show you this other one website as well. So you can also use this. This is also from College Board. So for example, you come across to find your college, you could just put in the university that you'd be interested for, and they'll give you the whole list of various APs that they do accept. So for example, there is the AP Calculus BC, where you need a minimum of 5 out of 5, and the credits that you will earn is 10. The courses that you can skip over is Maths 19, Maths 20, and Maths 21. So it is also very good if you're going to be looking across at this list and then deciding which APs are much more relevant for you. Do remember that more often than not, the result that you should be seeking out for all of these APs should be bare minimum fours and fives. Now, I'm just putting up this other link for you, which is to see the college credit policies. I've just dropped it onto the chat for everyone to just save across. And when you're making your AP decisions, you can access this link and see which are the APs that you should be selecting based on the college credit policies. The fourth very important part, and also again an overlooked aspect, and especially overlooked by students, who are in 11th, they just have one window. They tend to take up a little bit too many APs, so balance and manageability is extremely crucial in this decision making. Know your capacity to take on load at any given time, and specifically in 11th, it's not just that you'll be focusing on APs. There may be other activities that you would be going. So thus, on one hand, it is great to set high goals and for that personal growth that you're targeting. But on the other hand, it's very crucial to keep a healthy working schedule and a creation of a balanced profile. Overall, I'll say at any one given slot, the maximum APs that a student should go for is between 3 to 4. Do not go more than 4 APs just in one window. They really do get too difficult to take across. And also remember, they're not school courses. These are under graduation level courses that you're going for. Fifth reason of this aspect that you should be thinking across on is to broaden your narrative. Now AP exams really contribute to generating a real diverse story, and they demonstrate interest beyond the core curriculum that the student may be interested in. So for example, being a student within sciences, within STEM, having a few APs which are humanity based, so for example doing something within microeconomics or macroeconomics, also let's say complementing it with another language or complementing it with any other social sciences, really does broaden the narrative of the student, that he's not someone who's just typically interested in sciences or STEM, but has got a varied interest in different areas. And universities and colleges, especially in USA, do really honor this kind of approach towards education, because that's the approach that USA has. If you really see it with their liberal art programs, with the concept that US universities do not just specialize in any one single major. They are a university that would cater to demands for students from different areas. So coming across as a student which is also of that same thought process does really complement in terms of your overall profile. So these are the five most important aspects that I'd really suggest you to be looking at. Really important that you see those three links that I've also shared across when you're considering your AP selections. Look at those score distribution, consider your goals, see the college credit policies. Remember, the most important objective of the AP is to show excellence in a subject area. The only way you can show that is if you earn a minimum out 4 out of 5. So if you see these 5 points, there are a way to actually ensure how you can make sure a 4 out of 5 or a 5 out of 5, and at the same time consider your career goals and consider your limitations of time management. And at the same time, the increase of your narrative or landscape is a very good aspect within your profile. Now we're moving on to the next topic, which is just to look at what are the overall AP checkpoints and milestone. So for the students which were, going for the application of 2026, your registration had started with somewhere between October to mid-November. Mid-November 15th was the deadline for the first round of your applications, which are called the regular rounds. Normally, you're looking at a rough payment of around $128 per examination. Now, it's not so that if you've missed to register so far, so there's no further opportunity. There'll be second windows opening or the late windows opening from December. There are also a couple of places where that late window has already started. But even for the late window, I would suggest do register as early as possible. But they do go across till mid-March. You'll have an extra cost of approximately $40 per exam if you've missed the first window, but you do still have time to be register for those APs that you may be interested in. Now, the preparation phase really does run from December to all the way till May, where December to February is your initial preparation time. We normally call it the winter prep time. This is when you should be going over the overall course from start to end, and beyond this time, from March to April, this is when you'll be taking a lot of mocks, preparing and giving the final review. Finally, the exam is going to be conducted on second week of May itself. So the overall cycle that runs, it's from October to May of every year, and you only have one window to be giving this examination. Now, moving on to the next topic, which is to understand DAP structures that, and very important for you to also understand what you should be expecting so there are no certain surprises being thrown across to you. Now, the duration of this examination is 2 to 3 hours, dependent on the AP that you have selected. Most exams, as I've said, will be lasting during this time period. So they are shorter than your typical college exams, but they are equally rigorous. Now, the time is divided between two main sections, which really test different sets of skill. So the two sections that you have, the part one, it is your multiple choices. Part two is free responses. So this structure really does ensure a balanced evaluation, which will be testing both your knowledge and application. Now, part one, which is the multiple choice, the format is a series of questions with 4 or 5 answer options per question. The focus area here within part one would be to test factual knowledge, comprehension, and problem solving speed. This requires precision and strong grasp of the curriculum content. I'd say the tip for success in this part is really learning the skill of eliminating incorrect answers to improve accuracy and increase your, or I'd say decrease the time that you would be spending at any single question. So the really key aspect within part one is time management. So don't spend too long on any single question. Do try the elimination of incorrect answers to increase your efficiency. Part two is the free response. So the format is open-ended questions, essays, or problem-solving tasks dependent on the subject that you have opted for. The focus area here is to measure analytical thinking, argumentation, and really the ability to apply knowledge. It requires clear, structured, and well-reasoned responses. Tips for success in this area is practice writing concise and direct answers in under timed conditions. Show your work through a proper thought process, even if your answer isn't perfect, but the process is extremely important, the thought process that you're trying to put across in it. And review a lot of sample responses provided by College Board for that AP subject that you're going. The overall key that I'd be giving across here in this part here, in terms of managing these two areas, is to understand that balance is key. Prepare for both of these sections equally. Don't over focus on one at the expense of the other. Go through a strategic preparation. Multiple choices test breadth of knowledge, while free responses evaluates your depth and application. So make sure that you've got this thought process on when you're going for those various two sections. Now, moving on to this one part, the scoring part that I've been speaking across on, that your AP results are a band score. What does that band score typically mean? If you have a 5 out of 5, that is considered as extremely well qualified. For students who understand that A level way of grading, a 5 would represent basically an A star or an A plus. And the grade and the percentage in terms of CBSE would be between 90 to 100%. 4 becomes well qualified, where you're between 80 to 89%. You could consider that as an A. 3 is qualified, where you get a B, 45 to 74%. Two is basically saying is just possibly qualified, and one is no recommendation, which is below 30%. So where you want to be staying at, if you want to show your expertise at a certain area, is to at least be on the well qualified zone. And the zone that you would actually want to be at for all your APs is getting 5 out of 5 in every AP, because again, they don't mean 100%. All they do mean is that you have a score above 90%. Now, the other part is when to apply, and that is something that I've already would have a lot of you guys would have understood through the timeline that I showed. So between August to September is when you should be thinking and sitting down every year that which is the AP that you should be doing. As soon as October opens up, make sure that you're going into those school websites and registering for the seats as early as possible. Because remember, this is for students who are not going to be giving in 2026, but maybe giving in 27. So remember, in October of 2026, make sure that you have registered. Do not wait for the end dates, because there are a lot of these schools that don't go up till 15th of November. They finish their registrations or their early registrations by 1st of November. So registering next year in 2026 in October itself will be the smart way forward. Otherwise, a lot of students, what they have to do, they have to wait for the second window in that way, which runs all the way up till March, April. And then in May is the administration of the exam itself. Now, moving on to the next topic, which is of the digital AP. What are the reasons that this has happened? It has enhanced accessibility. There's been now a wider range. Digital exams make it easier for students in remote areas or international locations to access the same APs. It also increases accommodation. So digital format allows for tailored accommodations for students with special needs, such as enlarged text or screen readers. Another thing that the digital AP has provided is improved security. It has increased flexibility for administration, and it's really on line with that modernized learning and an assessment that overall the College Board and the world is moving across at. Now, we'll be looking at how the APs are moving forward in terms of digitalization. So the exams that are administered exclusively in a digital format are the AP Computer Science Principle. So this is fully digital since its launch. It focuses on project-based assessment and digital submission of a create task. The second one, AP Seminar, that's also totally digital. AP Research, AP Environmental Science has moved fully digital format in 2023 for most schools. The hybrid ones are AP English Language and Composition, AP English Literature and Composition, AP US History, AP World History, AP European History, AP Microeconomics and Microeconomics, along with AP Psychology. Now, the ones that are planned to go digital are both of your AP Calculuses along with Pre-Cal. AP Biology, Physics, and Statistics are also the ones that are under consideration of going for a digital transition. Now, what's changing in this format? These digital AP exams aren't just a paper test. They have, as they have moved online, they bring new features designed to enhance your testing experience. So now here's what you really need to know. There's flexibility now in your testing location. So with digital exam, you might be able to take this test in your own school or at a testing center much more closer. So it has increased the scope of much of AP being available in a wider set of cities available across the world. Now, the other thing is it also gives you adaptive timing and navigation. So, unlike traditional exams where you really move question by question, digital AP, really allows you to flag a question, return back to it later. It really helps you to adjust the pace at which you would like to answer. Another aspect that it has also provided, it has given students online screen calculators for subjects like AP Calculus and AP Statistics, the highlighting tools to mark important sections, for example, in your reading passages. So all of these tools also do help students in getting through and getting great results in your AP. So the integrated tools is also another thing that has been added across. It has also given enhanced security measures. So digital exams use advanced security protocols to prevent cheating. And it also gives that lockdown browsers that restrict access to external website, randomized question orders to ensure that every student gets a very unique experience. Now, moving on to the next topic, our own approach in terms of APs. So this is a general roadmap that we devise for all our students preparing with us. We always start with a diagnostic session where we look into those five various different objectives of why you should be selecting an AP, how is it going to be making sense and relevance in your profile, which are the ones where you've got a higher chance of getting a high score. We will also do a diagnostic session in terms of if you have identified AP calculus A, B to be concluded, to be done, what are the knowledge area gaps that you may be having, and then we create a whole personalized study plan around it. We'll be giving one-to-one live tutoring on that specific subject. You have exclusive strategy sessions as well. That whole part of understanding how to approach part one, how to approach part two, and we give full length and sectional mock tests and live mocks as well that almost prepare you in the same environment that you'd be giving the exam itself. Now, how do you prepare for a digital exam? The format that our students follow is, as I've just said, we start with a diagnostic test of that specific AP, where we understand which are your weak key areas, which are your strong areas of that subject, which helps you create the right kind of study plan. We help you, understand the overall test structure. We will be giving you practice with the past papers on the digital platform itself that will help you, not just understand the structure, but understand it, giving it live on the examination itself. Now, three pillars that we really do think important for all exams, AP included: accuracy, speed, and at the same time, examination strategy and stamina. Now, beyond APs, there are also various other things as an organization that we do help people on. So, in terms of academics, beyond APs, we are also helping you in SAT and PSAT, school scores as well. We help students in profile building and their complete admissions prep. Now, our AP SAT lab, the one that helps students to prepare for their APs, these are the major benefits that you do get. You do get a good amount of personalized attention. We do go through a three-tiered preparation where we start you off with understanding the core concept and then increasing it onto an intermediary level and then increasing it to that examination level where you need to be at if you're targeting a top 5 out of 5 kind of a score. Now, this is a look at our mock program. So you do get 90 to 100 hours of foundation prep with 40 to 50 hours of contact hours and 50 are self-learning hours. You do also get 60 hours of mock tests, which are 10 full-length mock tests plus 10 sectional mock tests as well. The other programs being divided right from elementary to middle school to high school level that you could be looking across with us as well. To share a couple of success stories, this is a student that had joined us just a couple of months before, and we helped him to get a 4 out of 5 in a AP Computer Science A examination. This is a quick overview of a journey of a student in 60 days, worked with us and got a 5 out of 5 in psychology. So you could just read those quick points. How did we focus on different aspects? What was the practice that we did in terms of the FRQs? Now, moving on to the next example, which is, from confusion to clarity. Within 90 days, we help the student to understand why should they be going for that economics AP and then help them get a 4 out of 5. So this is another similar example, just a different subject where we helped another student get a 5 out of 5 in AP Calculus AB exam. Now, moving on to the resources. Right. So if you take this AP diagnostic test, you could use the QR code on your screen, and we'll help you select and choose the right kind of APs that you need to do to boost your applications. Right. And moving on, every weekend we conduct a different AP, a different master class on Saturdays and Sundays both. So do join us across for all of these various sessions. Another platform that we use to put up information, our newsletters. So you could use the QR code at the bottom to access all of these various newsletters around choosing the right AP, how to make a college list. All of those various topics that I even discussed today are available within these newsletters. Now, these are the various podcasts that we use. So on the left, you can, see our YouTube podcast, and on the left, we have got various our WhatsApp channel where we again share a lot of different upcoming news, urgent news around admissions. This is the last slide for my presentation. So if you want to get an exclusive session for AP Prep, you could use the QR code on your screen, and then our team will just quickly set up a meeting with me. Right. So this is the end of my presentation. I'll be now using the chat section to understand if there are any questions. Right, so I'll just start by physics one, good AP in terms of your engineering. What AP do you recommend for chemistry? So, see, within chemistry and biology, they're not different kind of APs. That's only there within physics. Within math, I'd say it depends what kind of major you're going for. So, if you're going for something within finance and economics, stopping at calculus AB is just fine enough. If you're a student within engineering, then going all the way till calculus BC would be making sense. Is AP more acceptable by universities or PSATs? Now, see, they're very different two things, an AP and a PSAT. An AP, as I've said, that's a college level course itself, US college level course, and it helps you earn credits. Your uh, your PSATs, I mean, I think if you're referring to practice SAT, then that is just basically preparing you for SAT itself. So, very, very extremely two different concepts. So I wouldn't say to confuse the same. Charges for AP classes, I just request if you could scan the QR code on your screen. We could do a one-on-one session, understand which are the APs that you should be doing, and we could have a discussion on the finances as well. So, how does knowledge acquired during grading exam in extracurricular fields like music help with doing AP in that field, but student might want to study sciences as an undergrad? So, you see, Ruchika, within USA, it is not mandated that if you want to be studying sciences, so you only need to show work in sciences. First thing, USA major declaration is not mandatory, so that's why this concept does exist that you can show work in music, in arts, and humanities when your application is purely based on sciences. So it is equivalent. There's no issues in trying to show sciences or different APs in different areas. The other question, how many hours of preparation is required to prepare for AP? Well, that's a $1 million question. I think I would want to do a one-on-one session, Prableen. If you could, use the QR code, I could give you an individual answer, but not hours. I could give you a couple of months, if I'll say that way. If you've got 5 to 6 months and you're going for two APs in which, while selecting them, you can see that you've done 70 or 80%, 70 to 80% of the course, then I'll suggest take the three APs, you'll be able to prepare for them. But the only problem is to give a specific hour because this is a very individualistic aspect, depends which grade your student is, depends how much syllabus is already covered by the school. I'd be able to tell you the minimum amount of hours. If you want to do entrepreneurship or business, what AP can you suggest? So there's no AP that I would say that directly connects in terms of in terms of business or entrepreneurship. But if you want to go into these degrees, I'd suggest you should look at AP microeconomics, macroeconomics, look at AP statistics, look at AP calculus. So all of these are going to be good. Do you conduct group sessions or one-on-one sessions only? No, I mean, see, we can do both. You could register, you could let us know if you want to conduct a group session for, let's say, a group of kids. We are absolutely open to do the same. And if you want to do it on a one-on-one basis, we're also open for the same. So, Pooja, you can just, use the QR code, get in touch with us, and we'll help you do either that you would want. Right. So you welcome Nirav, welcome Prableen. Waiting for the session, Pooja. So I think if the questions are done, I will now conclude the session. Thank you for joining us across today. And next week we'll be handling a different topic. Is it necessary to register to Let's Unbound? Then only you will help my child for AP. Dr. Inuka, I will need to know your child before I could help for AP. So the registration is in terms of the QR code, so you could come across and meet me. In terms of helping you with the subject, so I'd have to take a certain amount of ownership, yes. What I'll suggest, why don't you just join on to the QR code? I'll give you all of the help in terms of knowledge, in terms of understanding which are the APs that are important. Beyond that, it is your choice if you'd want to register or not. But information I could, and the help I can definitely provide if you could just register for a session, and I'll give you all of that information. Right. So, if there no further questions, so then I would just conclude. And I'll just wait a few more seconds for more, questions if there are any. So you're welcome, Nilima. If there are no further questions, then I will just conclude my session. Right. Thank you for joining. Let's catch up next week as well. Thank you.